Hi traders, welcome to our weekly top-down analysis. Let us begin. We are beginning with volatility 100 1S. As always, we begin from the weekly time frame by marking our supply and the demand zones. So as we can see, price has been very bullish and it has been pushing from this demand level and it's headed to our supply. Right now, we can see price just broke this supply zone. Therefore, that's a good indication to indicate buyers are still in control of this market, and we are headed to our point of interest, which is that supply zone. So our bias is very clear for this week. Price is still bullish, and to only start to look for selling opportunities when price gets at this supply zone, then we'll make a decision. But as of now, our bias is still bullish. So we're going to be looking for buying opportunities this week. And then going to the daily time frame. So from the daily time frame, we can see that is the most recent break of structure. That is the most recent break of structure. And then the order block, which caused the break of structure from the daily time frame, it is that order block there. So that is our order block. And then we have our break of structure. That is our break of structure. And then going over to the 4 hours time frame. So from the 4 hours, we can just adjust our break of structure to the 4-hour time frame. So we have our order block right there. So we have our break of structure and then our order block right there. And then we also have another break of structure right there. So we do have another break of structure up there. That could be another point of interest. So we have a break of structure and then the order block, which caused that break of structure. It is that order block right there from the 4 hours time frame. So we have 2 points of interest that we can look out for. And then going over to our 1 hour time frame, which is our entry time frame, we are going to see if this order block down here has been mitigated. If it has been mitigated, and then we'll position for the order block, which is above there. So we have a break of structure, and then the order block, which caused the break of structure right there. So you can see price broke through this high, it came back for a retest. Therefore, this order block down here has been mitigated. Our order block down here has been mitigated. It's of no use to us. Therefore, we are going to work with the most recent order block, which is the order block up here. That is the order block we are working with because this one has already been mitigated. We're going to work with that recent break of structure. All right. That's it. So we're going to put our buy limit now with our TP at the swing high, and then our entry price at the order block, and then our stop loss slightly below the order block. Therefore, if you want to take this trade with me, you can go ahead and place a buy limit on VIX 101S with your entry price at 1305.80, and then your stop loss at 1262.80, and then your take profit at that swing high at 1365.92, and always apply proper risk management. Make sure the money you are risking is the money that you can afford to lose. Therefore, on volatility 101S, we are just waiting for a retracement into the order block, and then for price to continue pushing up. So that is the move that I'm going to be watching out for this week. That's it on volatility 101S. If we go to volatility 100, we can mark our levels. So we have a demand zone right there, a demand zone, and then that is our supply zone right there. And I'm also going to mark that supply zone up there, though price is still far from it. That is also a level of interest when price decides to get there. But as of now, we are working with these two recent levels. As we can see from the weekly time frame, price is moving from this demand zone. It has been buying for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and we are still bullish. We will only decide to come bearish when price gets at this supply zone, and it gives us reasons to sell. But as of now, our bias is still bullish, and we'll be looking for buying opportunities this week still. So that's it from the weekly time frame. Heading over to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, we can see that is a break of structure right there. That is a break of structure. So we have a break of structure right there. And then the order block, which caused the break of structure from the daily time frame, it is that order block. As you can see, price is still far. It's very far from that order block. That is the order block. And then we also have this break of structure right there. So we also have that break of structure. So we also have that break of structure. And then the other block, which caused that break of structure, It is that one where price is currently reacting from and it's pushing from that order block. Therefore, this is the one that's looking promising, this order block. As this one is still, price is still far from here, we'll leave it pending for now. Heading over to the 4 hours time frame. From the 4 hours time frame, price did not come back to this order block. Therefore, we are gonna leave it pending for now until price decides to get there. So we'll leave this order block down here pending, as price is still far from this order block. We only work with the most recent break of structure. So we're gonna leave this one pending for now, and we are going to work with that order block right there. Let us adjust our break of structures to the 4 hour time frame. As we can see, price broke this high and has been bouncing off at this order block, and we finally broke out of this range where price was ranging. We finally broke out of this range where price was ranging. Therefore, this order block has been mitigated already. We are going to work with this new break of structure. As we can see, price is just broken out of this range. Therefore, that is going to be the break of structure that we are going to be working with. Yes, it's the most recent one. So we have a break of structure right there. Let me just move this to there. And then the order block, which caused the break of structure from the 4 hours time frame. It is that order block right there. It is that order block. Oh, it's looking like price is pushing from here. Let's go to the 1 hour and see where price is currently at. So this is the order block where price was bouncing off it. And we finally broke out of this range where price was ranging. Therefore, we are going to mark that as our recent break of structure. That is the recent break of structure. And then the order block from the 1 hour time frame, it is that order block right there. It is that order block right there, where we can expect price to come back and mitigate this order block. Let me go over to the 1 hour and see if we can be able to put our swing high. So we have a swing high up there. Because I'm trying to place a buy limit, I need to know where my take profit is, and I always get it from the higher time frame. All right, so from the higher time frame, from the 1 hour, where I'm going ahead to place my buy limit, entry price at the order block, and then stop loss slightly below the order block, slightly below the last week rejection right there. And then my take profit, I'm going to be using the higher time frame take profit, which is that one. So if you want to place this trade with me, you can go ahead and place a buy limit on volatility 100 with your entry price at 1133.78 with your stop loss at 1100.04. And to our take profit, you're using the daily take profit at 1307.15. So that is what I'll be watching out for this week. Do not worry, as price is looking like it's leaving you out. This is liquidity that price is creating here, because before price comes back and taps into your order block or your point of interest, it has to sweep some liquidity. So for me, when I see this, I'm not afraid. Oh, I don't have the fear of missing out as I see price is pushing, because from my data that I've collected on volatility 101S, it likes to react off the order block. Therefore, I'm going to be waiting for price to still pull back into this order block to clear this liquidity. Yes, my data shows that volatility 100, it likes to react off the order block. Therefore, order block has not been mitigated. Therefore, we can just place our buy limits. Don't be afraid. As you can see, like price is pushing up, you're thinking you are being left behind. Just relax. Always, I work on data. I work with data that I've collected. Just relax. It will still most likely come back at this order block based on my data. That is how I trade it. So I'm gonna wait for a retracement for price to come and clear this liquidity in here, and then pushing, continue pushing up from here. That's the move that I'm gonna be watching out for this week. All right, traders, that's it for this weekly analysis. If you did find the episode helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and become part of the family. And happy trading. See you next week.